Well, in this lab, you've got 5 pages you see on the bottom there, and we're going to construct a parallelogram 5 different ways. The first one, over here, we're going to construct triangle links Ly and X, and we're going to use it using construct it on the very definition. So right here, you see I built in some stops. Well, Ly is fixed, and I've got some stops there, so you can't go any farther than that. So here we go. Let's construct this one. Well, we know if I select a side, I'm going to select Ly and X. Remember, I'm only selecting Ly, the segment. And a point not on the segment, I can construct a parallel line. Now I kind of like my lines, my parallel lines being dashed. If you're in the version 5 of the software, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just construct the lines. You'll see what I mean. Right now, I select Lx here and point Y, and I'm going to construct a parallel line again. This is the very definition of a parallelogram. Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Well, the point of intersection certainly must be N. So I snap on that, and it comes up X, so I change it to N. And now, if you double click here, you get this bar. Of course, we got this. We've got our text palette, and it always changes on me. Arial, you can try to choose an appropriate font. I was using 36. But we're not done yet with this page. Let's now draw on the sides. And I'm going to draw those with thick lines. And I'll leave the dashed lines in there, the construction lines. Notice if you were in Sketchpad 5, when you drew these segments, this solid line would have gone dashed on you and shown up as a construction line all on its own. But right now, I see 2 construction lines. That gives me a hint that I did this by constructing parallels. So, let me pull this up more. In my custom tools, my single arrow tool, which I made for you, L, snap to X, and Y to N. That tells me that side's parallel. And let's switch over to the double arrow. Snap X to N and L to Y. Now just by looking at this, you're going to say, I made that by constructing 2 pairs of opposite sides parallel. That's a parallelogram. Oh, almost forgot. Put your name on here. If your name is Fred or whatever your name is. So when you send it into the class folder, I can find out whose it is. All right, that's 1 out of 5. Let's go to the next one. Well, now we're on page 2, and we're going to construct a parallelogram, A, B, C, D. I've got A and B there. And we're going to do this using congruent opposite sides. This is clearly a compass construction. Now, I got to tell you, this one would be a lot better with a real compass. So we're going to simulate it first. You don't have to do this for the Sketchpad lab, but watch this. It'll give you insight. I want you to imagine. You know this drill. You take your compass and you swing it like this and say, oh yeah, you're setting the gap on your compass. And then you say, all right, I'm going to take my compass now and I'm going to slide it up there like this, right? And then you repeat the arc. Or you picked up the needle and you put it down there. You got that? I think so. So now you're going to, you'll reset your compass. Maybe you're going to calibrate it over here. And you're going to swing an arc here. So I've got another side. Right? And then I'm going to take this compass and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to move it over to B. And what do you know? I'm going to swing this arc again. That's essentially a construction where we're duplicating sides. Pull out your handy dandy straight edge and you line it up there. And you can just see, you're going to draw this parallelogram. You've got a side there. And then you're going to rotate this thing and put your other side here. So your point would be right over here, the intersection of the 2 arcs. That would be the classical method. The classical method using a compass and straight edge. But you know what? We're not going to do that because we're in Sketchpad. So we're just going to say no to this. We're going to do something that's a little more dynamic. Let me clear those traces out right there. And let's go to town. First thing, I guess I already drew the side for you. I'm going to name this side. Let's see, A, B, C, D. Click on it. F, well, that's not right. I asked the class, and some of them said, well, what is it, C or D? Well, of course, it's going to be D. Look at those letters, A, B, C, D. The C has to be next to the B. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did with a compass, but we're going to do it Sketchpad style. So it goes like this. I'm going to use a circle. That's what works as the compass tool. I'm going to make a circle from A to D. Now, just to keep track of it, I'm going to change the color to blue because it represents the blue length. Okay? And now I'm going to transfer this segment, or the circle, from center of A to B. Well, when I do that, that's just like picking up the compass and making that, swinging that arc. So select the A, then select the B. Transformers, we mark the vector. You have to know that when we're translating, there's from and to. Get them in the right order. Again, mark the vector. Select the object you want to transform, which is the circle, and we translate it by marked vector. Now at this point, you can get dizzy here with the circles. You can leave them dashed if you like. I might do that. Might make my circles dashed as their construction lines. And unlike the rigid compass, we can change this figure around. It's a dynamic construction. So we're going to be all right here. So this transfers the blue distance from A to B. And as you imagine, we need to do the same thing here. But this circle, I'm going to color it red because this is a red segment. And it's the radius of this red circle. Now I'm going to translate this one, and this time from A to D. Because I would have picked up the needle, the compass, put it on A, then I would have put it on D. So A to D. Transform, mark, vector. Select the circle to translate, and I translate by marked vector. Wow, getting pretty busy in there. Now, if you want, you can hide, don't delete, you can hide the original circles, the ones that you were translating from. See, that was my first circle. That was the blue circle. I shifted it over there. And here's the red circle. Because what we're after is the intersection of these two compass swings, which will be right here. Yes, I know they intersect here, but that doesn't look right, does it? So let's just select right there, and that's going to be point, well, look at A, B, C, D. That's going to be point Charlie. And ooh, I want you to leave those circles on. I think they look pretty cool. And it helps you understand how you constructed this figure. Well, we're not done yet. Let's draw a little bit more. I'm going to draw the segment from C to B. This time I'm going to make that thick, and I'm going to use a single. I'm going to put a side tick there. Oh yeah, because after all, I'm making them by congruent sides. Then I think I've got a side tick 2. Click, and I'll go from D to C. Oh, I want that segment red. So I've got 2 pairs of opposite sides congruent. The red pair and the blue pair. And you can really see it in this construction. So it's fun on a compass, but it's a little more dynamic on Sketchpad. Well, now we're going to take this segment EF, and you see it's got some restrictions, and we're going to construct it using the red and the blue angles. So adjacent angles will have to be one red, one blue. Opposite angles, same color. Let's get to it. Oh, and notice all these letters here. That's just so I can give you instructions. So it makes sense because the order matters. There's going to be a lot of, we'll just do it. we're going to start at E. We're going to put the red angle at E. I'm going to double click on E. Oh my goodness, all the way off here. On my custom tools, I want my magenta ray. Ah, that's my magenta ray. Now I want to rotate it in the clockwise fashion, counterclockwise, and by this red angle. So watch this, I'm going to record B, A, T, transformers. I marked that angle. That was so much fun, I'm going to do it again. B, A, T, transform, mark angle. Oops, now I've got my ray selected, and I'm going to rotate it by marked angle. There it is. So it will, of course, respond to this. Now, we're going to get lost really fast with this. So I'm going to carefully select this. Notice I take the points too. I'm going to hide it. Don't delete it, because you know all the offspring die too then. And now I'm going to put the blue angle over here, but I want it to open up the other way, and that would be clockwise. So I'm going to record it this way. C, A, T, cats, transform, mark angle. Now it shows it going around the long way, but you know that's because that's positive, counterclockwise positive. Well, you guys know that. But trust me, it's going to rotate the right way. And you have to reset your rotation at F. Then we're going to put on our magenta ray. I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to rotate by marked. You know, hey, pretty slick. So again, take this one and hide it. Now, what do we do next? Well, it's up to you. Pick a random point. I really don't care where. I could pick a point here or a point there. I suppose I could label one of these points. I've got a red angle here. 1, 2, 3. And I've got the blue angle. That's the blue angle custom tool. Click 1, 2, 3. Remember, vertex, side, counterclockwise to the next side. Oof. So I've got a red angle and a blue angle. I'll just pick a point right here. Doesn't matter where. But if I pick this one, B, no, I'm going to say G. And I'm going to make, let's match it up a little better. I think that's 36 font. Let's make it look pretty. Now, opposite angle, I need red. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to extend my ray. Where's my ray? From G to F. But then I'm going to rotate it, and that's going to be clockwise. So I'm going to have to record the red angle clockwise. Instead of bat, that'll be tab. That'll be T-A-B. Transform, mark angle. See, we've rotated a clockwise rotation this time. I set my center of rotation. I'm going to put in my magenta ray, transform, and rotate. And there it is. Oops, a little happy with those rays. And right now, the intersection must be the final point. And I'm going to call that H. Well, before we can put these little custom tools in here, and you can leave the rays in. I think it looks kind of cool there. Move them around. Oh, I think you can move this around a little bit, and of course we can change the shape of our figure. But let's put in some sides here. F to G. Oh, just pick some color. I think we started with blue, or a more neutral blue, H. And now I can put in my blue angle. Well, that would be opposite. 1, 2, 3. And my red angle. 1, 2, 3. Pretty slick. Look at that. You constructed a parallelogram by constructing opposite sides, or opposite angles congruent, and adjacent angles supplementary. Hang on, Nani. Well, now we're going to make a parallelogram by constructing one pair of opposite sides that's both congruent and parallel. See, I already got the tick marks on it. We could do this one really easy, but let's have a little bit of fun. Watch this. I'm going to take a segment from J. I'm just going to draw a random segment out, about like that. That looks good. Now I could just use that segment, but I want to build some animation. That's what I want to do. So I could construct a point on the segment, or I could just take the segment with point tool and snap a point there. So you've got a point that slides up and down on that fixed segment or that random segment. Now hide the segment. Yeah, you heard me. So all you got is this, a point that slides like that. This will be a little more fun. So J, K, L must be over here because this is going to be M. So let's make it M. Not V, make it M. And of course, all we have to do is translate this image. So as far as the Sketchpad construction, we're going to select from J to M, mark our vector, sweep, hold down, so you select all the items, and translate by marked vector. Of course, this will come up K prime, but then we're going to change it, and we'll change that to L. More exciting. Now, just to accent or make this stand out, we're not even going to draw the sides. Just select J, K, L, M, construct quadrilateral interior. And there is your parallelogram, so you can see it without drawing the other sides. But I promised you animation. Here it goes. Select your point M, and only M. Don't make the whole thing dance around and look silly. Grab just the M. Go to Edit, Action, Animation. Now let's make our segment action go forward one time only, and we'll go fast. We'll go more than fast. We'll go 4. How's that? And an animation button will appear, and you can drag it around wherever you want. You could make it say something else, but it's an animation button. Ready? Go. Hey, that was fun. Let's do that again. Well, I'm going to have some fun with this. So that's your 4th construction. One more to go. Let's go to page 5. And our final construction, STUV by diagonals. Well, look at those letters, SU. Well, they're not adjacent, so this must represent a diagonal already. That's what we're starting with. We'll start with a diagonal, then we'll build. We're going to select this diagonal, and let's construct a midpoint. And what better letter? X? Now, how about M? Everybody likes a midpoint with M. SMU. There you go. And just to show that it's a midpoint, let's put in a tick mark. I want you to see all my choices. Remember, these are the custom tools that we're using here. And side tick 1. Now, if you just snap that, that's not going to work. Just watch this from S to the M, M to the U. All right, so we put in our little tick marks. Now, if you're not in my class, I suppose I could send you one of these files so you know how to do it, but well, you'll figure it out. You're all pretty smart. M is my midpoint, and that's what it says right now. So now I'm going to put a random point out here. Totally random. Now, I could say that it's Y. Well, it's not Y. It's either T or V. Which one? T, V. I asked the students vote, and they had different guesses. The fact is, it doesn't matter because, well, you'll see in a little bit, the T could be on either side. I could go around the figure clockwise or counterclockwise. Now, this is going to be one vertex. So if I were to draw this, you see, this is going to be this is going to be half of one of the diagonals. Well, I could do that. Actually, let's do that. And I'm going to make it red so I can say the blue and red diagonals. Keep it straight. And I'll put this other tick mark on it. Now, I could extend this several ways. I could use dilation. I could double click on this and rotate this by 180 degrees. But that's just not quite right, because I'm trying to emulate a compass construction a little bit. So a more true way to do it, let's just draw a ray from T through M. And I'm going to make that dashed just to show it's a construction line. And let me take my circle, my compass if you will, I put the needle on the M, and I would draw it all the way through T. And that would be marking out my distance on this side. So this must be, yes, you guessed it, must be V. Not Z, I said V. All I've got to do now is draw my remaining segment. And let's make that, oops, that's already red. How about making it thick? And we'll put our little Tommy tick mark on there. And now you can already see this parallelogram jumps right out at you. And if you don't see it, there it is. Don't draw the sides, just visualize it. S-T-U-V. Construct quadrilateral interior. And you see, this is why the T could have been here, or it could have been here. Doesn't matter. This is a parallelogram because the diagonals bisect each other. Another way of saying it, M is a midpoint of both. Well done. Let's have a quick look at your 5 pages. Page 1, parallelogram, quadrilateral, where we made both pairs of opposite sides parallel. Page 2, the compass construction, where we made a quadrilateral with opposite sides congruent. Page 3, we made a quadrilateral with opposite angles congruent, adjacent angles supplementary. And page 4, we made a quadrilateral with one pair of opposite sides, both parallel and congruent. And finally, we just did a quadrilateral with diagonals that bisect each other. And of course, every one of these quadrilaterals is a parallelogram. Well done, you've explored the 5 ways to make a parallelogram. Now save this document and send it in the classes folder, and I guess we'll call it a day.